Hello folks, welcome back to the channel. Thank you very much for joining me once again. You are always most welcome. So today we've got a review of one of the latest batch of 2024 release kits, latest new tooled, actually not new tooled in this case, but a combo set you might say. Quite an interesting one as well. So it's from ICM, of course, our great friends in the Ukraine. What they've done is combined a couple of their existing kits. They've got some German staff personnel figures, quite stern looking officers, although as I said previously do slightly remind me of the Allo characters, but anyway, they're actually really well, it's almost like a photograph, isn't it, that they've got there. It's in the full sort of drill sort of army general's uniform in this case. It almost looks like a field marshal. It's like Rommel, isn't it? Anyway, what they've done, they've put this together with the G4, the six-wheeler staff car. Now, this is where it's interesting in a way, because when I recently showed you the ICM catalogue, I didn't really draw your attention to this so much, but this, what's unusual here is it's in 24th scale. So at 1/24 scale, they have got a fairly small range. One thing you do notice though, in their catalogue, is just how diverse it is in terms of range. And they have these, a few figures, sort of interwar years cars and things like that, and they came out with these new ones for this year, which is the American, the Phaeton, sort of saloon car stroke cabriolet. One's like a coupe, one's got the hood down and one's got the hood up. Two versions have come out, and this belongs in that family, in that scale. So whether they're intending to maybe expand into this, I don't know, but it's quite interesting because it has potentially been quite a nice set, and it's a little bit bigger. So yeah, it would go, if any of you have got, you know, your 24 scale, perhaps your trumpeter or airfix kits at 24 scale, you know, your Stukas and Messerschmitt 109s, this could be on the periphery of your airfield and be at the right scale. So quite interesting. I hope that they might maybe expand this in the future. Anyway, let's zoom you in a bit and you can have a look, and we'll get this open and see what we think of it. So, first thing to note is, it is kit number, easy to remember this one, 24024. So it's all about the 24s here today. On the side we've got a nice shot of this this G4 staff car. It's like a long wheelbase six-wheel staff car with two MG34 machine guns on it. And then you've got your orderly driver, I think he is, and then you've got these two officers. One looks like he's maybe a major, one I think he's a general or a field marshal. I'm not an expert on these markings, but as you can see there, they've really portrayed them very, very nicely. It says on the side, I'll zoom back out for this, and ICM, I mentioned recently, have been very good at kind of listening to customers, which a lot of the competitors are not doing. And they've gone and changed this bar. They've now got this information bar, and they've put it on a lighter background so you can read it really easily. I really like this, and that's much easier to use, especially when you're doing reviews. And it says, the set of the Type G4 car and two figures of Wehrmacht officers, a general and an adjutant. Well, they forgot the driver, there's three figures, but anyway. Possibly to assemble the car with or without the installed guns, which are MG34 machine guns. Highly detailed uniforms, insignia and awards. A high level of detail of the engine, transmission and the suspension and interior are included. Yeah, the only thing they put there, they seem to think there's only two figures, so it says three on the side. We'll soon find out when we open it up there, won't we? So here we go, let's have a look at this then. My first review for a month, I think. A month? Is it? Is it that long? I think it is. First kit review for a month, certainly, since I did the Buccaneers. A month ago now. More than. Trouble here. Right then. Excuse me. Wow, sneezing. Now that's something I haven't been doing, funnily enough, with all my illness recently. I haven't sneezed. I think it's the dust. Okay. I'll be alright, don't worry. I'll survive. Oh yeah, you can see these 24 scale figures look big, you know. It jumps out at me, really. One big bag. Then we've got some instructions, and we'll put the box here. Right, so we'll go to the plastic in a minute. It's quite a lot of plastic though, it's quite heavy as well actually, it's quite a lot of stuff there. I'm getting quite excited about this. Right, let's read you what it says here. The personnel of the Wehrmacht Officer Corps were distinguished by their very high standards. This is not to be confused with the Nazis, okay? We're talking about the traditional German army here. At the beginning of World War II, it represented a unique, corporately closed organisation with its own notions of officers' honour and moral principles. You see what I mean? Because there was a lot of friction between the Wehrmacht and the sort of SS and the Nazis, Gestapo divisions, etc. Because this was the sort of traditional German ranking officers. You know, going back to the First World War, honour was a big thing for them, and of course the Nazis was the opposite. Anyway, I go on. It says, many of them were former officers in the Imperial German Army. Staff officers played a significant role in the Wehrmacht, enjoying special attention and fulfilling crucial roles in directing operations at all stages of the war. A diverse fleet of vehicles, including the versatile off-road vehicle G4, station wagon, the off-road sedan, I should say, four-door sedan, G4 W31, was used for the transportation of staff officers. Developed by Daimler-Benz in 1934, it was produced until 1939 in a version featuring a four-door convertible roof. Four-door convertible roof, wow. That's quite something, isn't it, really, because it's a big roof, you know. The vehicle boasted an 8-cylinder engine with a power of 100 horsepower. Later models had 110 horsepower and accommodated 6 passengers. Some vehicles were equipped with MG34 machine guns, 1 or 2. And they served the purpose of transporting command staff, and Wehrmacht were also employed for the protection of the escort of staff columns. Very good. Right then. Now then, I'm just going to have a quick swig of tea. I'm going to show you the decals. Oh, very good. You touch 24 scale, everything just looks bigger, you know. It really is. So we've just got the German crosses here, and we've got our instruments for the instrumentation binnacle, and of course our number plates, which you can tell by the size of my thumb, they are quite big, aren't they? So you can see we've gone up a scale here for sure. That's very good. And then we have, see you back a bit. Then we've got our sprue map. Most of it looks like it's going to get used. Quite interesting layout. Then we've got our figures, which is a separate sprue, of course, because they are available as a separate set. And then here we start with our engine. So you start with your basic block. You've got your sump, you've got your cylinder head going in there. You've got your the crank end here. Opposite end, you've got your transmission gearbox. Then you've got your looks like the oil pump on the side, exhaust manifold, and your inlet. And then over here we've got fan belt and the fan itself. And we've got the looks like the fuel pump, I think it is, fuel pump. I'm not quite sure what that is. Maybe that's a breather canister. Then we're onto the wheels and tyres, and it looks like, are they going to be rubber or are they going to be plastic? I'm hoping they're plastic actually. I think they are. I think they are plastic. Not sure. Can't see. We'll see in a minute. We've got 3 pieces. You've got centre, you've got the rim, centre with the spokes, you've got the rim, and then you've got your actual treads. And then you've got basically like a running board chassis, external bodywork, complete with the chassis side rails. You've got your leaf spring suspension, so it's just like a conventional. It's not a Dion, is it? I don't think it's just like a live axle type of thing. And you get your drum brakes and hubs. And then over on here we've got, obviously there's going to be quite a lot of suspension because you've got all these different wheel systems, having been a 6-wheeler. again, here you've got your leaf springs, and we've got our, this is the drive, part of the drive system, of course, because it's going to be, is it 4-wheel drive? Or is it? Yeah, it's actually 4-wheel drive at the back, and then the front is just purely for steering. So you've got this twin 4-wheel drive drivetrain system, and obviously we've got the drive shaft here. You see that? Bring it a bit closer. Little short drive shaft between the two, and then we've got our front complete with steering arrangement. Obviously got the steering rods there, and then you're going to bring that into the chassis, and then over here you're going to drop in your engine from the top this time. Then you've got your main drive shaft that goes to the transfer box, as it were, at the back. Got your exhaust system, quite a long one, and silencer box built in halfway down. And then you're going to bring on your wheels, bring those on, wheels and tyres, and then you're going to build up your sides of the main sort of passenger compartment. So you've basically got like a wraparound section. So it's actually moulded in one, so the doors don't actually open, unfortunately, at the back. So you've got that, you've got your windows going in, obviously, and then you've got your bench seat going in, you've got your the boot, looks like it's the boot, or the trunk, if you're from the USA. And then we've got our, well, looks like the forward seats for the driver at the front. So you've got like 2 rows of seats. You've got a rear row, middle row, and then obviously the driver and the front passenger. Bringing all that in together. A few holes you've got to drill here. Bringing together our the floor then of the actual cabin and the front bulkhead. And then you're going to bring in all these seats, putting in the actual seat squabs as well. So you've put the back one in, you're putting the middle one in. And you've got the one at the front. Interestingly, the one at the front looks less luxurious. Obviously the officers sit in the middle, and they've got fancy armrests, which your driver doesn't really get. Then you've got your bonnet going in, which is a folding bonnet option. And then we've got our headlamp arrangement here. And we've got repeater side lights, is that? The mirror going in here, and windscreen going on, front instrumentation, dashboard there. Bringing in your main internal crew cabin, so to speak, and your big radiator, Daimler-Benz radiator going down. Popping in your headlights and putting on your bonnet. And then you've got to bring in all the extras, so you've got spare wheel and tyre on both sides. Then we've got, this is where I mentioned to ICM about descriptions would be very helpful here, because I'm not quite sure what I'm describing here. I presume it's is that the rear? Okay, it's the rear part of the chassis, the underside of the chassis here, and that's the fuel tank. Okay, then you've got your folding roof. Here's your steering wheel, complete with I think a hole in the middle, some controls on it. And you're bringing all this in together. Your rear, the bits we just saw, the rear tank and the back of the chassis, the bumper protection, and then you're bringing in those parts we just seen with the wheel and the hood being dropped in there. You've got your gear change, windscreen wiper, windscreen visors, and the handbrake also going in here, and then a couple of indicators at the back. The fuel tank filler pipe, and then finally you've got your MG34 machine guns if you wish to fit them, which look quite meaty, and they'll be quite nice at the scale, won't they? Going in there, and one goes in the middle and one goes at the back, which is quite sensible. And then we've got markings for just says 1939 pre-war, you know, it's not camoed. And then we've got a darker one which is more like the sort of camouflage in the field that they have, the dark grey. And then at the back, finally, we've got our 3 men, 3 not 2. So we've got the driver here. He'd probably be, would he be a corporal? Might be a corporal, I think, to be a driver. And then you've got your, I think he's a major, and I think we've got a general here, which could be Rommel. I like the colouring. The colouring's good there. That's quite helpful, I think. Actually, nicely done. So far, so good then. My only criticism would be, I do wish that ICM would have a rethink about the way they're presenting this. The diagrams and the actual clarity of the instructions are pretty good. I just wish that they would put titles so that, you know, like I'm trying to describe to you, I don't know what I'm describing because it's not overly obvious. You only realise later on when it gets fitted what it is. And if we could have a title of each section, you know, like fitting ancillary body parts, or fitting the steering wheel, fitting the interior, things like that would be quite helpful. Anyway, apart from that, most impressive. Let's have a look. What have we got? Let's just pop those decals. That's safe. Safe. I already can't get over how big this all looks. Huge, you know. 24 scale. It's been a while since I've had any 24 scale kits, really, apart from the racing car ones. This is going to be big. A lot of plastic here. I know some of you are going to ask me how much this retails for, and the truth is I didn't check that. I'm guessing around about the £40–45 mark ish. Don't hold me to it. It certainly would merit that, I think, judging on what I'm seeing. So, excuse me. Let's start with the figures, because they're going to be really nice, aren't they? And wow, we've got some proper size figures here. Look at this. Look how big they look compared to the ones we're used to at 48 scale, etc. Yeah, and we've got the focus of the camera locks onto his face immediately. Now we've got a really nice figure there. I mean, he's got a face that's very, very well figured. You know, you can see the cheekbones and the chin, and I've done that really well, haven't they? His ears. Over here we've got one of the, I think maybe the general. Looks very stern, a little bit older, doesn't he? General's face. And beside that we've got various ancillary items. We've got the holster for his, probably a Luger. We've got the cap for the, like a basic cap. I think there's a different option for the driver actually. But they seem to have two. They have like a dress cap and they have like a field cap. This is more the field cap than out in the front line. They'd wear that, and whereas this rather more of a dress cap. No, actually I'm wrong. Okay, we'll start again. I've just realised. They've done it in 2 parts. In fact, this is just the top and the peak element of the cap, and this is the rest of it, so this goes on top of here. So that explains. I was trying to figure out why there was 2 really. And then we've got some really nice detailing. Look at the boots and things here, and they're all formed as one piece. Your jack boots. You've got some brilliant sort of detailing in the trousers and creasing, etc. And then we've got some hands. It's a little bit flashy actually. Is that flash? No, it isn't. So what I thought was flash is actually a rag in the hand. It must be the driver's hand. He's got a rag in his hand. I think it's like a... Or is it the door handle? It's the door handle. Can you see it? He's actually holding the door handle. So I guess the idea is he leans across and opens the door for him. That's interesting. It's not really shown in the instructions though, is it? So that was a little bit confusing. Here we've got the tunic, the torso, upper torso, and you can see this is the general. He's got the iron cross. So that's very nicely done. Over here we've got what looks like the major. I think he's the major. And can you see all this sort of chain, braided chain that he's got on his uniform? Part of his decoration, military decoration. They've done that really nicely. Get some focus, that would be really cool. There we go. Yeah, that's been well done. Excellent. And then over here we've got some more hands. No pun intended, hands, yes. Get it? Boom, boom. And then we've got the other chap's trousers, and again the jack boots. And he's got slightly bent leg in this case. That's really nicely done. And then moving across, we've got just got up from the braided officer. This is the one I said I thought was the major. Again, we've got a nice face there. I need more light on this. I think it would help. There we go. It's nice, isn't it? And there's his hat in two parts again. Again, Luger or P38 holster. And we've got his satchel for his dispatch papers, orders, maps, map case. And then moving back over, we're on the general again. And if you look here, he's got his cane. Don't want to get on the wrong side of him, do you? You can imagine him whacking some of his subordinates with that if we're not careful. There's a tiny little bit of flash there, isn't there, just on that arm. You might want to do just a tiny bit of clean-up on one or two of these parts, but there's some good depth to the actual moulding, and I think with a little bit of patience you really make this pop. It's yeah, it's a nice, it's a very nice set of figures, and it's been a while since I've seen figures at 24 scale, so yeah, I like that. That's that one. So we'll put that to one side. A second. Then we've got a second. There's actually two of these, so it's a duplication, and this is the MG34 sprue. If we look at this, you can see these are really big. I mean, 24 scale MG34, yeah, wow, okay. It's not small, is it? It's significant. There's some good detail there. Complete with the bipod. And machine gun belt here. And that's the mounting. Obviously this is the mounting tower, if you will, that mounts it into the vehicle. There's two of those. Then we have some of our bodywork. So basically what we've got here, we've got the transmission assemblies for the two drive sets at the back. We've got this rather nice interior, which is very well done, isn't it? Panelled interior, complete with a little holster there for a hand weapon, for a pistol, built into the side. Then we've got what's basically the trunk at the back. And here we've got the floor. This is the floor of the actual crew compartment. And then we've got over here, we've got the exterior, which looks really nice. It's a shame they couldn't have had the door opening. I would have liked to see the door open, at least one of them. There we go. Okay, that's that one. Then we've got the other side, same again but on the opposite side. So this is where your wheels, two wheels at the back are driving, and then you've got a small rear door and a major front door. There's not a lot of doors here, has to be said. There's your bonnet with the louvers in it. Not actually open the louvers. I'm sure if you use a wash on that you can make it pop and it'll look like they're open. And then we've got some, again we've got internal panelling on the opposite side. Again with a holster, pistol holster built into the side. And then you've got the fuel tank, etc. Very nice. Very nice indeed. And over here we've got actual, this is big, isn't it? Isn't this large? So this is the main, you see compared to my hands, it's a fair size. So this is the lower sort of bodywork basically and chassis rail, onto which the rest all fits. And yeah, it gives you an idea of the scale of this thing. It's a big old kit, isn't it? That's a really impressive size. Got running boards on the side, look, with grips on, so that you don't slip. You jump on it. nicely done. Excuse me. They are in fact rubber tyres. I was kind of hoping they're going to be plastic, but this is not a brand new kit. It's been out for a couple of years now, and I think that this is the way that ICM used to do it. So we are in a way with this particular kit seeing something from a couple of years back that's been combined. So let's have a look. Well, I've got to say those tyres do look nice actually. They are very well moulded for rubber. It's getting really close to this. Don't they look nice? Oh, those are good. I like that. Excellent. And those are nicely moulded ones actually. There's no seam line on them or anything. That's really excellent. That's yeah, okay. When they're as good as that, rubber tyres are not so bad perhaps, you know. I think that those will look an absolute treat. Get a bit of a wash on them to make them a little bit muddy, and I think you'd be away. No problem at all. Yeah, so my heart did sink a little bit, but I'm actually quite impressed with those. I was a bit put off when I first saw them. Now then, clear parts. I was getting nervous with clear parts, especially we've had a couple from ICM that have been a little bit, had a couple of minor quality control issues, but they very quickly fixed it and replaced them for me, so no complaints at all. Let's just see how we get on with this one. No, this one's fine. This one's fine. Very nice, in fact. There's quite a lot of glass on this big vehicle, isn't it? So you've got your main windscreen here. That's the front windscreen. You've got your headlights, your side glass, and then you've got your sort of mid windows down the sides. Yeah, I noticed that ICM do sometimes have this, and again this is not a new moulding, but they do sometimes have this slight blemishing effect, just where the sprue contact gate does join, and I'm guessing it's quite hard to avoid that, but it does seem it is a little theme when you notice on one or two of their kits, especially not the latest ones. One of the two of the very latest, like was the Kozak 2, the first and the second generation versions, they didn't seem to suffer from that so much. But as I say, this is not brand new to you, but that is never going to be noticed. Under my extreme lights and my extreme camera, you can see everything. I mean, imagine if I zoomed in on myself. No, it's alright, don't worry, I'm not going to do that. But my point being, it shows up every blemish and fault, doesn't it? Now we've got some of the ancillary parts. So we've got the frame for the windscreen here, with the windscreen wipers, which is nice. I like the way they've done the wipers, that's cool. Top of the screen. I think they're manual wipers on these that you operate manually. Then we've got the folding mechanism for your hood. We've got this is the trunking for the exhaust. And then we've got our wheel centres. And we've got our headlights, the body of the headlights here. And you've got a very, very nice Daimler-Benz badge. Look at that. Let's just get that a bit closer. Look at that Daimler-Benz badge. Isn't that nice? Yeah, that is cool. I like that. And over here we've got the big Daimler-Benz grille. If I can get the camera to focus. There we go. Daimler-Benz grille. And all the ancillary parts to go with it. So, yeah, that is nice. That is very, very nice. Like that one. Then, you're back. And then we've got two big sprues, and this is the one that's got all the seats on it. So, because it's got many, many seats in this car, because it can take 6 people. So, you've got your squabs here that they sit on here, the seat cushion itself. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Very nicely figured. And then you've got your seat back cushions here. Back cushion there. Back cushion there. I think that's the rear one, isn't it? For the very back. Yeah, pretty sure that's the back one. That's the middle one, the biggest one. And then the other one, that's for the driver, I think, this one. And then we've got our main engine block. And we've got the transmission as well here. And we've got the cover for the roof here. It's like a dust cover, isn't it? Tonneau cover. Got our leaf spring for the suspension here. And then we've got lots of little ancillary bits, and got our instrumentation here for the main instruments on the dashboard. Yeah, it's really nice. I like the way they figured those seats. Those are really nicely done, actually. Sort of really, really shouts leather at you, doesn't it? You get that coloured up right. Give it some leather effect with some, maybe some oils. I think you can really make it look leathery. Very good, very good. And then finally we've got everything else. So we've got all the wheel rims and lots of engine and sort of suspension and steering components. So we've got drive shaft here, and you've got all your wheel rims here. Just need to take out the middle piece, obviously. You've got your cooling fan right here. And you got your lovely Daimler-Benz steering wheel here. Done that nicely. Quite a lot of small components, as you can see, including the handbrake there, middle. You've got your fan belt and drive drive wheels for the fan belt. Lots and lots of small parts here. And there's no flash on these. These look nice. There's your steering wheel outer wheel itself, the rim, which is nice. Like the way they're doing in two pieces, they look really cool. Here you've got part of your exhaust, there's your exhaust back box there, big cylinder. Here you've got your wheel drums, hubs, wheel hubs. And then down here you've got your sort of trunnions for your drive, for your main wheels. And of course we've got more leaf springs here, and your anti-roll bars again here. And that's part of the steering, isn't it? And that's the exhaust pipe here. Exhaust pipe. Yeah, it's really nice. I like it. I like it. It's nice and big, and that's got no flash in it at all. This is a really nice one, this sprue. It's a little bit varied in that respect. Some have got a little bit of flash in it. Certainly on the figures, a bit flashy. Not badly at all, but just needs a little clean up here and there. So, yes, I'm actually quite impressed with that. It's a very interesting vehicle as well on this four-wheel drive, six-wheeler arrangement. So it's almost like a little half track, isn't it? But with wheels instead of tracks. I like this great big chassis. It's quite a big thing. Proper big vehicle, So, the question now is, can I get it all back in the bag? That's the big challenge I face. Over there, that there. I think we'll be alright. They've got a decent size bag. We'll be fine. This time. How about that? I think I'll leave those separate. How about that? Right, well there we go. So, yes. My only criticism would be a little bit of flash on the figures. It is quite minor, to be fair. That's a nice kick. There's a lot of plastic there. And it'll keep you busy for a fair old while, that will. There is quite a lot to go at, in fairness. I'm going to put that. That needs rewrapping, we'll do that later. Right, what do we think then? Yes, I think it's an interesting subject. I think you paint those figures up, especially if you're into your figure painting, I think that they'll come up really well, they'll really pop, and they're a nice size, aren't they? See, it'll just give it that, brilliant for a diorama, as I say, you've got Stukas or You know, some of the old Airfix Messerschmitt 109s and things like that, you could really make it into a scene, you know, where these guys perhaps are in the background. Yeah, it's just an interesting scale, and it's got a lot of presence. So I think I'm going to have to knock a point off for its little bit of flash. But most of the vehicle didn't have flash, and that was really nice. And I thought those rubber tyres were particularly good as well, actually. And they rarely are. They rarely impress me, but they did. So I think I'm going to give it, I think 9.25 out of 10 isn't unfair. Okay, I'm going to say 9. I'm going to say 9 out of 10 because there was this thing about slight confusion in the instructions. I think that's not unreasonable. But that would really, you know, add to a diorama. It's a sort of almost a ready-made diorama of its own. It just needs a bit of a base and you're away, you know. It's an interesting subject, something that others don't seem to have covered in that way. Like the twin machine guns on it as well. You know, you could do a nice Normandy scene, couldn't you? Perhaps, you know, have that with a... Here's the answer for you. You get that, yeah? You do it into a Normandy scene and you have your Airfix 24 scale Mark 9 Spitfire diving down, attacking them. Yeah? There you go. I've a concept of the year for you, sorted. Perfect. All the same scale. Absolutely brilliant. Anyway, 9 out of 10 from me. Well done, ICM. Enjoyed that. It was something a bit different, and I like the fact that it's so big. You know, you can see all the details, and you know, you get to see all the markings on the clothes and the iron crosses and the decorations. You know, the straps on the satchel and things like that. Really nice. Anyway, I hope you thought that was interesting. Hope you'll give me 10 out of 10 with a thumbs up, with a like. Don't forget to tune in for more reviews coming very soon. In the meantime, just say thank you for joining me and all your time. Stay safe, stay well. Don't get this horrible bug that I've just had. And until next time, which won't be long, I'm sure. Thanks for your time. Look after yourselves. Thanks a lot. And bye for now.